Alright, but some for me chat will be as amo. Bibi akwa baby me de ba or dinner whole TV. Na um John Dramani Mahama and NDC for officials ne kushia or NDC headquarters and let say omukodi enkomo fa running mate ho na omo yes a meeting no ewie na John Dramani Mahama timi fa plane de ko Kumasi kushia former minister Dr. Kwabena Dufo ne Fifi Koite omukodi enkomo fa John Dramani Mahama the running mate no ho na say the nsema be kan nsa ne say Maame Jane Mensa ho ya akyere ne pa anya asɛm kutu agye sɛ John Dramani Mahama betima afọ bi foforɔ na Paul Adom de nkyerɛkyerɛmu ne secret meeting ɛkɔɔ so na ɔde nkyerɛmu aba abɛto abɔnten abusuafoɔ ɛkɔ akɔti abɛsisi a na ɛnɛ ne de kan ɔti ɔde ne ho ti bi ha de yɛde update ne trending news nkwa na yɛde sum yɛ viewers ne ahwɛfoɔ mɛsɛ ɔsɛ yɛbɛkɔ akɔti abɛsisi a ana ɔsubscribe na wahyɛ so so ama obi bi a ɔmo nsa nka video so nsa nka video ɔdo agye nkyerɛ so agu comment section kama mede obi bi ase.
Who's your man? I said, your mama. Then they laughed at me. They said, your mama is your man. I said, oh, yeah, but he's my man. Then we all laughed. Then the argument started. And I said, sure, Charlie, the guy, he has to change. Somebody said he has to change his running mate. He can't continue like that. Look at the numbers. I said, what are you talking about numbers? So after the conversation, I picked the story from there. I picked the presentation that I'm going to show you. So here is President John Dramani Mahama and Dr. Kobna D, Dr. Kobna D, former governor, former minister of finance. Dr. Kobna Dufour's image is economics, by and large. Really, it's economics. So if Dr. Kwabena Dufo is talking politics, he's talking economics politics all the time. That's the only thing he says, economics politics. Politics of food, inflation, consumer price index, those terms they use, the basket of goods, reverse inflation, imported inflation, food inflation. Those are the things Dr. Dufo talks about as an economist. That's what he is. So pressure is mounting on John Dramani Mahama. I have to say, though, that from all that I know and from all that people know, John Dramani Mahama is still with Jenano Pokwazima, but there's a lot of pressure mounting. So this visit, and I can tell you on authority today that Dr. Dufo has returned the visit. He has reciprocated the visit to John Dramani Mahama. That's not on TV, that's on the news. You heard it here first. Dr. Dufo has done that. So his build-up is getting tighter. So here's Dr. Dufo and John Dramani Mahama. And then they sat down, and so you see, Jenano Pokwazima is not in this meeting. For some reason, I'm not sure why. But he's not in this meeting. This is John Dramani Mahama. This is, I don't know where this is. Maybe Dr. Dufour's house, I'm not sure. This is John Dramani Mahama. This is Dr. Dufour. This is my best friend, Fifi Koite. This is a man I thoroughly respect. Alhaji Hudu. I sat behind him at Makola Law School back in the days. I sit behind Hudu and he sat in front of us. I felt very proud. This is the guy who was the general secretary of the NDC. I used to interview and he was in front of me. I was behind him and when he comes to the class, we all stand up, we greet, and then Hudu takes his seat. Very, very nice guy. Very, very brilliant man. I love Hudu Yaya to bits. That's Hudu Yaya. And that's Julius Debra, who is my very good friend. Julius Debra is such a great guy. So this is the cabal, if you like, in quotes, without no disrespect intended, but I'm just using the word cabal. And they went to see Dr. Dufo, okay? So I don't know what they are saying here, but President Mahama's face is getting nervous in this photograph. Because maybe somebody says something. Fifi Koite is paying attention to what Julius Debra is saying. Hudu Yaya seems to be thinking about what Julius Debra is saying. I don't know what Julius Debra is saying. Dr. Dufour seems to be taking it in what Julius Debra is saying. Put the photograph on. I like it like that. So now, viewers, you can see it well. So look at President Mahama's face. You see, he's pondering over something. If you look at Fifi Koite, he's listening to Julius Debra. Where is he getting to? And then if you look at Hudu Yaya, he's smiling because he seems to like the outcome of what Julius Debra is saying. If you look at Dr. Dufour, he's thinking, wow, really? You think so? Well, maybe. That's a kind of impression you get in Dr. Dufour's face. And you see Julius Debra with a smile making a presentation of a narrative. But look at John Dramani Mahama again. Look at Dr. Mahama closely. You see that he's doing the leadership thing. He's taking the thing in, but really, we don't know what they are saying. We don't know what they are saying, Let's look at the next photograph. It gets broader here. Now, in this photograph, it gets better. Kwabena Dufour Jr. is in there. That's Dr. Dufour's son. Please put the photograph up. Great. So now, from the left is Kwabena Dufour Jr. He's in with a pensive kind of look. He's not smiling, he's not laughing, he's just being his father's special assistant. And then you have Joshua Labi, who is beaming with smiles. Dr. Dufo Jr. is not smiling. So you have two Dr. Dufos in the room. Dr. Dufo Jr. on the left is not smiling. Joshua Labi says something that seems to be very exhilarating because Fifi Kwete and Hudu Yaya are burst out in laughter. President Mahama is controlling his smile. Dr. Dufo is smiling a little bit, but Dr. Dufo Jr. is not smiling. That's another photograph. I don't know what they're saying, but we are looking at all of these things. We'll get to the data. Viewers, don't worry. This is just the play. We'll get to the data. And then President Mahama sat next to Dr. Dufo in this photograph. All of these photographs were put out by John Dramani Mahama's page. Okay. So this is John Dramani Mahama and Jenana Opoku-Agyeman. So why is there pressure on President Mahama to amend the running mate's choice of 2020? It is pressure that is going to be resisted by the supporters of Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, principally Samuel Okujeto, Manebo Ama, Stan Dogbe, Joyce Bauer, Modgari. All of them are going to resist it. Bobie, the journalist, nice guy, he is with Julius Debra already. He wants Julius Debra to be the running mate. He doesn't want Jenana Opoku-Agyeman. But then there are some who want Jenana Opoku-Agyeman. There are some who don't want Jenana Opoku-Agyeman. Now, where is the pressure coming from? It's coming from this data. Let me show you. Do I have the data? Okay, and this is President Mahama and Dr. Dufo. So you have President Mahama and Jenana Opoku-Agyeman. President Mahama and Dr. Dufo. Okay. Okay, Dr. Dufo and Jenana Opoku-Agyeman here for viewers to make your choice. All right. This is the data that is bringing the problem. The reason why there's pressure on John Dramani Mahama is about this data. Let me show you. Okay. 2020 presidential election results, Ashanti region, is as follows. All right. So here's Ashanti region's presidential results of 2020. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, my favorite politician, pulls 1,793,773. It represents 71% of votes in Ashanti. John Dramani Mahama pulls 652,962, representing 26% of the votes in Ashanti. If you look at it closely, Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has beaten John Dramani Mahama by 1 million votes in Ashanti. What it means is that at the end of the day, after all the 16 regions has been tabulated, if the National Democratic Congress is leading the MPP by less than 1 million, then there's a problem for the National Democratic Congress. Because in these results, which is not the MPP's best performance in Ashanti, this is worse than 2016. 2020 was worse than 2016. Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is leading John Mahama by a clear-cut 1 million votes. So if you finish all the tabulation and the NDC is leading by 500,000, then you know that when the Ashanti comes, NDC will be losing by 500,000. That's the story. That's what is giving John Mahama pressure. Okay. Now, John Mahama picks up 652,000 votes from Ashanti at 26%. Let's move on. 2020 presidential election